OffBeat Sports Podcast.
It's been a tale of two seasons for the Boston Celtics.
I probably aged about 10 years just from that series.
I'd probably compare myself to just a younger, smarter, more handsome, stronger Michael Jordan.
Let's go Celtics. Go Patriots.
These are guys who, when you give them a bowl of Cheerios in the morning, they finish every last drop of milk.
Absolute clown over here.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by University, where we interview Division I college athletes, both male and female, for many different sports to get the full perspective into the lives of our student athletes. Today, we are joined by Ayir Asante, former Holy Cross and now Wyoming wide receiver, newest transfer for Wyoming. Thanks for joining us, Ayir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
So prior to college football, you began your career at St. Peter's Prep in New Jersey. So how was your experience playing there, and how did it prepare you to play at the Division I level?
St. Peter's Prep, we're in a pretty strong conference in New Jersey, honestly, like the whole East Coast. So it was tough, but St. Peter's Prep, we're kind of like a football factory, all boys school. I had to commute there with a bunch of my guy friends, and we made it work. It taught us a bunch of life lessons. I will forever be thankful for everything I went through going to St. Peter's Prep and stuff like that. So, super happy I went there. I think it was the right choice for me. And, just to be around a bunch of great dudes, like the class ahead of me, their senior year, I think they had 14 people go D1. My class, I think we had either 9 or 10. It's just, that's kind of the culture that we have there. And, college coaches coming in and out, every day. So it just showed us that, what was possible, when the dudes around you, they're all Americans and, they're getting offers and stuff. And eventually, you just keep your head down. You're going to, get what's coming for you, what was meant for you. So going to St. Peter's Prep was definitely a blessing. I love all of it, not just the football aspect, but, commuting to school, going to school in Jersey City, which is, I'm not sure if you know, it's like right across the Hudson River from New York City. So, the views were amazing. Just the culture of commuting to school, made you grow up a little bit faster, stuff like that. But it definitely prepared me for college, just because like the academics there were rigorous and stuff like that. But athletics, it definitely prepared me. I say, just going against that type of competition in high school, it always showed me, having great coaches like Coach Hansen, his son Hansen Jr., who's the head coach now, Coach Ofla, all those guys, Coach Nas Oliver, all those guys really just let us know, there's no favoritism, there's no seniority or anything like that. It was the best dudes we're gonna play because that put us in the best spot to go, win games, and everything was earned, nothing was given. So it was definitely a great experience to kind of help build the foundation of the football player that I am today, and honestly the man that I am today. So I'm thankful for that whole experience.
Yeah, so you guys were state runner-up for 2 years straight. Do you have any favorite memories from these great seasons that you guys put together?
Favorite memories is hard to say a favorite. Obviously the journey's been it was amazing. All 4 years. But I guess probably the coolest thing, most notable thing, besides going, that was the whole goal, get to the state championship. We never came back with one, but we were able to go and experience it, and a couple plays here and there. Might have came back with a ring. But my sophomore year, we actually got invited to Ireland. We played an American football showcase for like the Irish people, and there were like 3 high school games, so 6 teams, and we were one that was selected. We played Blessed Trinity from Georgia. We got the win out in Ireland. That was cool. And then after that, they hosted us for the a college football game. It was Boston College versus Georgia Tech, and at that time, the running back for Boston College was Jonathan Hillman, who was a St. Peter's Prep alumni. So it was just amazing for all of us. Everything connected well. It just all made a lot of sense, and it was a big trip, and it just showed us how powerful football could be. And the places that it could take you. I mean, I had been overseas at that point, but more just to like I've been to Jamaica and DR and stuff like that. But going to Europe, going and just playing football, like it was just different. Being in a whole different country, seeing different people, a whole different culture. It was all different, but I was thankful for the opportunity and grateful for the experience. So Yeah, that was probably the most notable thing, I'd say, going to play a high school football game in another country.
That's crazy. I mean, that must, I mean, I can't even imagine. That must be a great experience.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like notable names in that game too. I remember their star player, I think, was if I remember correctly, Steel Chambers. One of the coolest names in high school football, and then he goes and played at Ohio State. I think he just declared for the NFL this year. And funny thing is, he's teammates with Cody Simon, who's on our team. So the two linebackers, they didn't know they were going to be future teammates, but both at that game. Obviously we had all our guys, Shane Simon, Jason, Justin Amiola. They're both playing, they played in Senior Bowls. They'll be in the draft this year. It's just crazy. It was amazing to be out there, and then also test our metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey, smaller state, but I feel like we hang our hat on, football, basketball, and track and wrestling. But you got to kind of get your respect. You're right next to New York, right next to Philly, so everyone you kind of whatever. But we were able to go down and play, a top team in Georgia and beat them. So we hung our hat on that. We took pride in that. It just meant a lot to us.
Yeah, so you put together a pretty spectacular career at St. Peter's. You had over 1,300 receiving yards and 16 touchdowns over the course of your career. And you must have had many options and offers from schools coming out of St. Peter's. So what made you choose a small school like Holy Cross? And especially with at the time, Holy Cross was coming off of a 5-6 season where they couldn't hit 500. So why here over other options?
Well, so yeah, the way that it worked for me was, junior year was probably, one of my coming out years. I mean, like, sophomore year, I was kind of feeling it out, but I was, able to get out there as a young kid. Junior year is kind of where I put it together. So at the end of my junior year, that's when I started getting my offers. Actually in February, for whatever reason, for me, football is a great month. I mean, February is a great month for football for me. So I got my first offer in February. I remember it was a Howard, and they all started flowing in. I ended up with like 6 or 7, a couple Patriot League, Navy, and then Hampton, Howard, stuff like that. And I was hearing from the bigger schools, especially because like like with the type of school that I went to, these big schools were in there every day, right? Like you'd be walking and you're in the gym or whatever, you see Alabama walk in, or you see like 8 or 9 coaches from Nebraska walk in, and they're all just recruiting everyone. So you never knew, unless they came and talked to you directly or they were talking to coach, you never knew what was really going on. But, you hear stuff from here and there, and I'd be getting letters and everything like that. But, back then that was all you cared about, getting letters and showing your boys and stuff like that. But it kind of stopped as fast as it started. The offers kind of stopped quickly around maybe March. And it was kind of one of our things that we wanted to be committed going into our senior year, just because going through your senior year of high school where there's so much to do, you have so much responsibility, you're a leader on the team, stuff like that. And then having to try to navigate the recruiting process, it just didn't really seem like you could be all the way in. So that was kind of the culture that we had at St. Peter's Prep. You wanted to be committed by that summer. And I committed to Lehigh actually in I think May of I guess that would be 2018. And yeah, I had, Georgie Porter Real. He was a great player at Lehigh, great player at St. Peter's Prep. Me and him were good friends, or still are good friends. And he played a similar position to me. They said I'd just play opposite him. They had a quarterback. They used to call it the air show, right? So it was really attractive to me. About 45 minutes from my house. It just everything hit home. Still had the academics, the whole type of thing. And I was with them all the way throughout my senior year. So I kind of shut down all my recruiting. It didn't really have schools were coming in. My head coach, if you were committed, no school could talk to you because, he wanted to, we were just backing up our word. You know what I mean? If you were committed, you weren't going to be out here talking to other schools and stuff like that, which I respect. And it made sense because you get to be all 100% in on senior year. But I ended up decommitting on signing day because a week before the head coach ended up stepping down. And, relationships got a little rocky from there. Coaches move around, all that type of stuff. I mean, you guys seen with Chesney, he comes in, you're going to bring in their guys. So I thought it was just a smart business decision to not sign. And I guess at that point it was December or whatever it is. I wanted to wait till February for the late signing day so I could, see who they sign, see who they bring in as an OC. I didn't want to like sign and they bring in, a triple option or something like that and where I'm just locked in. So Decommitted. And from there on, I kind of, heard some stuff from a bunch of different schools. But as soon as Coach Chesney found out I didn't sign on that signing day, he came in maybe 3 times in that 1 week, and really showed me that he wanted me, and he had a plan for me. So really didn't want to go anywhere more north than New Jersey. It snows in the winter in New Jersey, so I was just like, I don't know, like Massachusetts. I'm like, it's probably a little bit too cold for me. But I came up here and I saw the facilities, I saw the buy-in from the city. I saw the alumni buy-in. You know what I mean? The academics, obviously, the athletic, it just all came together. And Coach Chesney really laid it out for me about their plan for me. Coach Murph was here, and it was a home run. So it just made sense. And I took the opportunity. I didn't formally commit. I just signed with Holy Cross, and like you said, Coach Chesney had a dream. Obviously, I didn't really care about the 5 and 6. I didn't really look at like what they did. It was all about the way he laid it out for me is what they had and what they need. And it felt like I had that talent to be able to push the offense a little bit further than what they had before. So as a freshman coming in, having an opportunity, no one's really gonna promise you anything, and it shouldn't. They shouldn't. If they promise you a spot, or like, oh, you should be starting, and that's not a good program. But Coach Chesney always told me that he'd give me the opportunity, and that's all I ever needed, because I've always been the type of guy to work hard, and try to outwork people. Everyone has their own talents and stuff like that, but I always pride myself on being able to outwork people. So just knowing that I had the opportunity, I just came in, I kept my head down, worked hard, and it turned out great.
Yeah. So it kind of leads into our next question. So during your first year at Holy Cross, you mentioned you really had to fight for that starting spot.
Yeah.
And you put together a great year your first year. You made the All Patriot League first team, finished in the top 100 nationwide for receiving yards and catches. So how were you able to make such a great impact your freshman year, so early into your college career overall, and earn the respect and trust of the coaches in practice?
Well, from top to bottom, I think it was just Coach Chesney, giving me the opportunity in camp, to go at these guys. We had, proven dudes like John Smith. We had Chris Riley. You know what I mean? We had like older dudes, Walter Reynolds, who played corner, and like started for us at corner and safety. You know what I mean? Like, as a young freshman, I'm out there, just giving it my all, right? Because at the end of the day, like, it's different than high school. Like, you get to high school, you don't really know what's going on. You get to college, like, everyone's been recruited, right? Like, everyone is brought in to be that guy. So you got to shine and be the guy amongst guys. So at the end of the day, I just kept my head down, worked hard, but I had a really good system. Coach Chesney was a great head coach. I had Coach Murphy. He's at Rhode Island right now. He gave me the opportunity. His system really benefits the slot receiver. And that's what I was my freshman year. So they kind of needed that X-play guy. And, I think the thing that makes me, or my elite category, my elite factor is my speed. So I was able to, put some speed on the field that they really hadn't seen too far. And then, under him, we had Coach Gilchrist, great wide receiver coach, a technician, cared about the little details, and, trained me to how to be a receiver. Not just a fast kid who catches the ball, but a true receiver, being able to understand the game within the game, understanding every time something happened, why it's happening and how to fix it. So I think that, all, top to bottom, those dudes really took care of me. And again, it was just a perfect storm for me. And then the wide receiver room that I came into, my freshman year, having leaders like John, Tenyo, Yanni, he took me in really early, you know what I mean? And kind of shaped the type of player I was going to be, because he saw it in me early. He knew that I could go. Spencer Gilliam, he's became one of my best friends, and kind of teaching me the mental game, the mental aspect of the game, always keeping me level-headed. And then, dudes like Jack Jewell, Connor Kennedy, just taking stuff from everyone in the room. There was no toxicity. Everyone understood that it was competition. Everyone wanted to be the guy, but it wasn't like, I'm going to take away your opportunity to, no one was putting me down to push themselves up, because that's not how it works. Everyone, you bring everybody up, and then the best, whoever plays. You know what I mean? So like, you're happy for the group. Yeah, I think it was a big family. Spending a lot of time outside of football. Another dude, Henry Teeter. He was a tight end that went in between tight end and receiver. He's actually now he's a captain at Texas Tech, and he kept me in it. Like him, Dom Thomas, those dudes like in camp. It gets tough, and sometimes it's like you don't know how to. Especially freshman year, you've never been faced with some type of adversity like that in the football world, at least. Where you're 18, you're going to war against dudes, some of them 24. You know what I mean, and coaches, and you're trying to get them to believe in you as you're believing in yourself, and fighting the mental stuff. And those dudes really just taught me how to just calm down, believe in what I got, and just give it my all. Because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. So
Yeah.
that definitely helped my success my freshman year.
Yeah, I think that's a really underrated aspect too. A lot of people don't realize when you get to the college level, all the guys you're playing against, who are the corners, all the receivers you're trying to beat out for time, those are some of the best players to ever play for their high schools.
Exactly.
They're not. It's not like you're going up against scrubs. Like you got to really earn.
Yeah.
You got to really earn that
Yeah.
to get to where you have.
One thing I forgot to mention was the quarterback system. Obviously, I had Connor Degenhardt, I had Matt Considine, we had Marco Siderman, we had Matt Sluka. Just good system of quarterbacks that give me a shot. But freshman year, me and Connor Degenhardt, that was my guy, right? Like on and off the field, we immediately clicked. Actually, when I came up to visit the Holy Cross up in January, they were in Christmas break, so no one was on campus. It was just me, the entire coaching staff, and my family. So they brought up Coach Ashton, who's now I think assistant wide receiver coach for the Cleveland Browns, and he played under Chesney at Assumption. So he kind of took me in, because he was an assistant coach for us, kind of like that type of position. So he was like just freshly out of football with for us. So like he could relate to us. Like he was about 22, 23. So he was still like with it, but he could still teach me some things. And then Connor Degenhardt, he came, he's a local guy. So he came to my visit. We had dinner and we just immediately clicked like that. That's still my guy. He transferred, went to New Haven, broke records there, led them to some conference championships, and now he's gonna take his shot at the league. But it's just those type of bonds, relationships that I built on and off the field. I think it was really important just for acclimating me to the school. Everyone in the school. It was just a home run all across the board. Alumni took care of me. Mark Cannon, Larry Doyle reaching out freshman year, making sure that I was comfortable here, and it was just all around just a home run.
Yeah.
So one of the greatest plays this season, and you could probably say across any level of football, and one that you'll probably always remember from your time at Holy Cross, was that Philly special 2-point play ran to complete the comeback versus Fordham in overtime. So walk us through that play and kind of the work that went into it, and kind of like what was going through your mind in that moment.
Yeah, so that game, we kind of had that game circled all year. I assume that they did too. Obviously, you look at the rosters in the Patriot League, and we had two of the most talented rosters. As it's been pretty much the last like 4 years. Lafayette has been there. Lehigh's been there, but with Tim DeMore at a quarterback and those receivers that they have, they kind of have an offense where they can score at any moment. So it was a big test for our defense, especially with how wide they do their splits and stuff like that. And their run game really improved this year. So it looked, just from the beginning of the year, we kind of knew like the Patriot League is going to come down to this. So that game we were kind of ready for anything, because especially offensively, defense. I'm not on that side, so I can't really speak to that. They do what they do. Coach James does a really good job down there. But on offense, we just wanted to make sure that we had every bullet ready. You never know what in a game like that. You never know what's the play that's gonna get you over the top. We knew it was going to be a high scoring game, but not like that. And that whole game, we'd score, they'd score. They go up 7 and we go up 7, or we tied up, then we go. It was just going back and forth. So it made sense that we went to overtime. We go on defense first, and they score first play, right? So it's like, okay, it's gonna continue to be like that. They kick the extra point. We go on a drive. There's plays here and there. Justin Shorter came up huge, making 2 huge catches. One on, I think, on like a 3rd and 20 to get us the first down or something like that, and then the touchdown. So then immediately we knew Coach Chesney, he throws up the 2. We're going for 2, right? We're trying to end the game right there. And that's kind of who Chesney is. We're gonna ride right there. He's gonna ride with us. We're either gonna win or lose in that play, and he has that faith in the offense. He has that faith in Masluka, Coker, Shorter, me, the offensive line, Pete. So, especially, going from the 2 yard line, 3 yard line, we all have that confidence that we could go and get that. But, yeah, I mean, they kind of seen a sweep once or twice that game. I had a sweep. I got a first down, maybe 12 yards earlier in the game. We got another one that I think maybe got called back. But we knew that we can get them on the edges because they were, obviously having Matt Sluka back there, they have to account for his ability to run. So the box is going to be a little bit more packed. Red zone, everything speeds up. So they're going to want to keep those guys in there. They had two really good linebackers. So, it's kind of hard to call a normal play. So we just had that play queued up. We called it, and they called a timeout. So I thought they were going to, we were going to change it. But there's no way that they could have known that that's what we were going to do. So we went out, called it, and, Justin Shorter gets a sweep. He pitches it back to me, and I have the option to either run it, throw it to Matt Sluka in the flat, or we had Jalen Coker running like a back end line where he goes, to the back end line and then goes back to the back pylon. So I had the ability to throw it. And I had full confidence. Obviously when we're in practice, I'm throwing it. How many times did you get to throw the ball as a receiver? So, I had full confidence in throwing the football. But one thing that Matt Sluka told me right before the play was, as we play later in the year, those noon games, the sun sets right on the field, right in that third and fourth quarter. So obviously as a receiver, I'm looking back. I don't really get to see that. I got the ball, and I kid you not, I couldn't see anything. All I could see was light. So I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable throwing this football, not knowing what, you know what I mean? Like, it literally, all I could see was the front end line, just a white line. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to try it. And I just ran, and no one touched me. I'm just in the end zone. It was kind of a surreal feeling. We won the game right there. The crowd erupted. We go over to the boys. They're rushing the field. And, obviously, it's a rivalry game for us. We got to keep the Ram Crusader Cup. That was good for me. 4 years, 4 wins against them, never lost. Basically locked up the Patriot League. I think we won it the next week versus Lehigh at home. So they got to rush the field again, but just a great feeling. It was a great moment for me, the team, Holy Cross. It was just awesome. I think it was a ranked game. You know what I mean? So
like 68 all year, FBS or FCS.
Yeah,
I think.
you know what I mean? So like that type of stuff is crazy. My phone was blowing up after the game. My boys back home, they watch every game. They're blowing up my phone, family, and everything. It was just, really, really awesome play. But I think it overshines the awesome plays that our dudes were making all game. You know what I mean? Sluka was playing his butt off. Coker, I think, had 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Justin Shorter is out here making one-hand catches and stuff. The stuff that Spencer Gilliam is doing. Obviously, our O-line is insane. Like, the whole offense was just clicking. The defense, they're out there doing their thing. Devin, Walter, Liam Anderson, he's had a huge year, with us, losing Jacob Dobbs, our All-American linebacker, found out we have another one. You know what I mean? Because, we knew it, but, the world gets to see, like, him, it was just awesome, honestly, just to see all of it, but, yeah, that was a great game for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned your teammate Jalen Coker, who we've had on the show. Talk to us a little bit about your relationship with Jalen and how you two have managed to create a lethal wide receiver duo on the field.
Yeah, so Jalen Coker is a year under me. When they came in on his official visit, I remember I had all 4 of them: Jalen Coker, Bryce Barron, Byron Shipman, and Q. I had them. We had a good time, and ended up all 4 of them committing. Got to school, and it's been amazing ever since. Jalen Coker is one of the most freakish athletes I've ever met. Right, this dude, I think 43-inch vertical. He's 6'3", like 210, 215. And there's a lot of things. There's more things that there's like, I don't know what he can't do. Right, like this guy, he kind of can do everything. When he got here, he was a little bit more raw. As a receiver, he was more just a pass catcher, but with I think he only had maybe 1 or 2 years with Coach Gilchrist, and then now we had Coach Ganell come in. He's really blossomed into a hell of a receiver. Honestly, this dude he can outrun you, he can outjump you, he can route you. I mean, he's throwing you by, he's catching low balls, high balls in traffic. It's just a great weapon. And me and Jalen, we actually were roommates in camp my junior year, so his sophomore year. And I think that strengthened our relationship a lot. We were able to talk and everything. And I think that we think about football the same way. I think that we both see this not being the last stop for us with football. We both have aspirations of playing at the next level that I think are very realistic for both of us. So, you kind of go about football a little bit different. I mean, his work ethic is insane. And I try to pride myself on being the hardest worker, but anytime that I went and wanted to go to the field, he'd easily tag on no matter what he was doing. And that's something I respect because not everyone's willing to do that. But Jalen Coker is a hell of a football player, but even better of a person. And I think that people get to see that his work in the city of Worcester. He works for working for Worcester, stuff like that. He's just a really good dude, really great player, really great person. Just all around. Can't say enough about the guy, but that's my guy. He's a huge part of the success at Holy Cross. And from seeing what like my freshman year, it was cool. Obviously we had Tenyo get banged up, you had Dom Thomas get banged up. We were the same class, but and then Spencer Gilliam get banged up. So we kind of were like a little bit depleted towards the end of the year with experienced guys. We had a lot of talent in the room, but experience is everything. So Jalen Coker being able to come in and learn so quickly how to deal with the experience, of okay, like a play might not go your way, but in college football, you got to be next play mentality. You know what I mean? Because that stuff can't leak into the next play, can't leak into the next drive. Jalen Coker, he does a great job with that. And even times this year where I was even frustrated, being a senior, being a grumpy old man, just trying to make sure everything's perfect, and I want to do things a certain way, but he would keep me in it. I mean, he as leaders on the team and stuff like that, people are looking at you. And you got to stand up and you got to lead. And I think that Jalen Coker did a great job of making sure that I kept my head together and, did everything right. So, just again, he's a hell of a dude. I'm really, really, really fortunate to be able to play with him. Dudes like him. Again, I can just talk about the whole room, but because I really think it was more than a dual threat. Obviously Justin Shorter, I think that what he does is so underappreciated, but obviously we see it in the room. We're watching film every day. We see the little stuff, contorting his body and stuff like that, stuff he's able to do. Jalen, like last year, just Jalen Coker, Justin Shorter. You're going to see a lot more of Q, now that I'm gone. Q, he's going to come in and do damage. He's some of the quickest feet and some of the quickest route running and stuff like that you probably ever see in the Patriot League. So, Byron Shipman, as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be another Jalen Coker type. Dom Thomas, another Jalen Coker type. Obviously, he's been dealing with the injuries and stuff like that, but another one of the hard workers, seeing himself playing at the next level, and I see it too. He put a solid season together this year. Obviously with all the eligibility, maybe either come back or, do whatever you have to do. But, just that room is so talented, and, they're all my brothers. But just to speak to your point again, Jalen Coker is my guy.
So I gotta ask, which one of you is better as competitors?
I'm gonna say him. I'm never the guy to say I'm the best.
Respectable.
I mean? He's my guy. He does what I do, and he's just larger. I mean, obviously, there's things that I do that he can't do. There's things that he does. I mean? We're two different receivers. I think that
complementary.
Yeah, 100%. I play a little bit more in the slot. I mean, he's more the X receiver. I'm more like depending on your offense, the F, the H, whatever, or I could be the Z. So, I like to be in the number 3 in trips, getting those matchups. And, I like to beat safeties and linebackers and stuff. One-on-one with the corner I can do, but jump ball is kind of it's a little bit different in my frame, but Jalen Coker outside, you can't leave him in a one-on-one no matter what route he's running. He's, he's bigger, faster, stronger than you, so they got to double team him. So, it's just like you said, complementary. They double team him, I get the one-on-one with the safety or the linebacker. They stay and keep that guy in or hang or whatever, and the safety or double team me, he gets a one-on-one. So, but yeah, he got it.
So for those who may have not seen, just a few days ago, actually, you just announced you'll be transferring to the University of Wyoming to play out your final year of college football.
Yeah.
At what point did you consider the possibility of transferring for your 5th year? And what was it about Wyoming? Because I saw you had tweeted a long list of schools that had reached out to you. That what made Wyoming the school for you?
Yeah. So to your first question, the season ended. We lost to South Dakota State, #1 team in the country. Our only loss this season. They ended up winning the whole thing, but that was tough. But after that game, coming back, I had a lot to think about. Obviously we had finals like the next week. And life kind of comes at you fast at that point, right? Because you're a senior, about to finish up your senior fall. You just finished up your 4th year in football. So I got a lot to think about. I had agents reaching out to me, and some people are telling me I should enter now, right? Because I put that 4 years of film together, and I think that I'd combine pretty well. My numbers at a pro day or a combine, whatever, would be pretty good. But I did have an extra year of eligibility that I didn't think I was gonna have, right? Because I was playing since my freshman year. But COVID gave me that extra year, so I really had to sit down with my parents and the people I trust, and just sit down there and talk. And first, I had to make a decision that I was coming back. I was going to play last year, because at the end of the day, if I had one more year to put more stuff on film, if you're not a day 1, day 2 guy, and you have more eligibility, why not just use that next year to build up some stock? You know what I mean? So that was my first decision. And then I had to decide where I was going to do it. And then just kind of, where we were with Holy Cross, like you said, the offense kind of changed since my freshman year. It's not as dominated by the slot. It's a little bit more run heavy, which has obviously worked for us. Undefeated regular season with the offensive line that we have, you could probably run for 500-600 yards a game. So I just think that setting myself up for the next, to take that next leap, I kind of need to go somewhere that, passing the ball is a little bit more of the emphasis. And just somewhere where I could just be a little bit more highlighted as like the part of the bigger part of the offense. Somewhere I could push it. So I talked to Chesney, Coach Ches, and he supported me in everything I do, because he understands my aspirations of going to the next level. We talked about it. He felt like I'd handled the last 4 years well. And I'm thankful for the last 4 years and everything. There's no bad blood or anything like that. But with this last year, kind of it being a gift to me from COVID. I thought that, you kind of have to be selfish with that year. I'm getting my degree from Holy Cross in May. I'm proud of that. Hang my hat on that. Did my 4 years here. And the other thing is there is no graduate program here, right? So I can't, get another degree or, start a master's here. So I kind of did what I had to do here. Got my 4 years in. And 4 championships, undefeated regular season, all stuff that I can hang my hat on, all the only playoff wins in school history, stuff like that, stuff that'll be in the stadium, on banners for hopefully as long as I live, you know what I mean? Stuff I can show my kids. But, I'll be an alumni of Holy Cross, but, with this last year, I just had to be selfish with it. So I entered the portal, and I was telling my friends this, the day that I entered the portal, I probably entered around 4:30, 5 p.m. And I started getting calls around 7:30, and they didn't stop until about 1 a.m.
Wow.
Because that's just how the portal works. You know what I mean? And I entered a lot earlier because the windows are different for FCS. So, I entered in literally nonstop, just calls, from coaches and everything. And the thing is, I'm, giving everyone respect, trying to hear everybody out, because everybody's situation is different. And, FCS schools, FBS schools, everybody's reaching out. And, I'm honestly blessed, because it doesn't really happen like that for everyone. People enter the portal for different reasons, different opportunities, looking for more playing time and stuff like that. But, when I was on the phone, I was just trying to tell them, obviously, I'm trying to set myself up to go to the NFL, take that leap. Got to go somewhere where they need me, but I also got to go somewhere where I can benefit them. I've always been a winner. I never had a losing season in football, and that's a big part of who I am and what I'm about. Right, I want to win. I don't want to just go somewhere and catch for 2,000 yards or something like that and win no games. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. I want to, just go and kind of like when Coach Chesney had reached out to me when I was getting recruited out of high school, they felt like they needed that one more piece. And, I was that guy. That's kind of how Wyoming approached me. They had lost a couple of receivers in the portal. But they have the way that they laid it out for me, it was an amazing opportunity. Their first game they're hosting Texas Tech. They're at Texas, I think week 3. So, big games, obviously they're in the Mountain West. Obviously they're FBS team, so eyes are a little bit different. And then, be able to tap into a different market. I'd be out west. You know what I mean? I've never my first time out there was on my visit to Laramie. Flew into Denver, drove up, and the views were just so beautiful. Campus is beautiful. The vibe was just different. And then their offensive plan for me, it was just exactly what I was looking for. They need, they kind of not one of the better passing offenses in the last year, and they understand that they have some of the best linemen in the country, and some of the one of the best running back crews, but they needed some guys to be able to put it over top. And that's exactly where I felt like I fit in. So, just having another opportunity where they want to throw the ball. They need a guy to throw the ball to, I'm more than happy to, take the opportunity. And, my dad gave me the best advice when getting recruited. It's you don't go where you want to go. You got to go where they want you. So, I took that when going to Holy Cross because, I didn't really know about Holy Cross being from New Jersey. And then, I really hadn't heard too much about Wyoming, but it actually married up where I wanted to go was who wanted me, who wanted me to go there. So, Coach Grant did a great job recruiting me, explaining about how he could develop me in these quick 6 months, and then, be able to come in and I don't know, just the whole thing, just going out there. You ever been out there?
I haven't, no.
I mean, if you ever get the opportunity to go out there, man, definitely come out there and see it. It's a lot different than the East Coast, but
we may have to come up for a game.
Hey, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys let me know. I'll definitely figure out something, get you guys some tickets, easily.
But yeah, one of our former athletes who's on here is Loudon Hogg from the hockey team here. And
Okay.
he's actually from Wyoming.
I still don't believe
Yeah.
Wyoming exists. I still don't believe Wyoming exists. Let me make that clear.
Hey, you gotta come out there.
That was the first kid I've ever met that's been from Wyoming. So I may have to go check it out for myself.
Hey, my freshman year, we had Cody Wilkinson. He was our punter, and he was, I think, like an all-state tight end in Wyoming. So we got heard of it a little bit, but obviously everyone knows Josh Allen, and he went to Wyoming.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff up there with him, and he's big around there. But it's really crazy. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity out there, with who they play, and just the buy-in out there. I mean, the whole state, supports Wyoming. Like you're out there, it just feels a little bit different. Football matters out there. Obviously school matters as well. They care about the person, the player, and they want to win. So again, like a winning culture like that, where they have that alumni backing, they have the community backing, the buy-in. That's a system that I easily it was another home run for me. Again, I'm super blessed to be able to have this opportunity to have options. I was talking to other schools, some in in the South, some in Southern California, stuff like that. Where it's warmer all the time, but at the end of the day, I just need the opportunity. Because I mean, you get to that next level, you don't get to pick where you're going, and you got to catch that ball, whether it's 110 degrees or negative 10 degrees. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I've been in Worcester for 4 years. I feel like I could get it done in any weather. So that really wasn't a big factor for me, but. Yeah, definitely super excited to get out there. They're bringing in one other receiver, my boy Devin from Vanderbilt. Super excited to get to play with him. They have a super talented quarterback, Andrew Peasley, who actually just announced that he's gonna have a kid. So shout out to him. But yeah, I'm super excited to get out there, man. Just it's just different, but I'm super happy with my decision.
So I got a few like fun questions for you to wrap up. So number one. Real quick, who's your NFL GOAT?
NFL GOAT, like
Greatest of all time, any position.
Any position. Ooh, all right. I mean, I think there's no argument against Brady.
Good answer.
Yeah,
Good
that's
answer.
what we like to hear. especially when we-
Hey, you're in New England. You may not be. You're not in Wyoming yet, so that's still the correct answer for New England.
Man, yeah, it's hard to argue against Brady for sure. Talk about other positions. I mean, a lot of that stuff it gets hard. Like, I mean, I don't know too much. I can't say too much about the O line or D line. And obviously, everyone knows about like Lawrence Taylor and stuff like that. You have dudes like Ed Reed. You got Dion. You know what I mean? Like best in
So
their
many good ones.
position, right? I mean, I'm a wide receiver. I can't even tell you who I think the best wide receiver ever is. I'm not a guy that's just easily going to tell you Jerry Rice or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, just the easiest answer is definitely Tom Brady, 100%.
Yeah, so I know before the football games at home, they play a lot of, energizing music at Fitton, but do you have a go-to pregame hype song to get you ready for a big game?
So like I'm the type of guy where I get super excited. Like I have trouble sleeping before games. Like I love football, right? I love playing it. So I actually tend to listen to more calming music when I head to the game, more like slow jams, more like just like R&B, like some of like the sadder Drake songs, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, or like older type of stuff just to
I
calm me
love
down.
it.
But once I get on that field and we're warming up with my headphones on or whatever, it's just all hype music. It's just Coach Gilchrist used to tell us it's a slow build, right? You don't want to get too hyped too quick. But when I'm on that field, we start warming up. I'm listening to NBA YoungBoy. I'm listening to Future. I'm listening to Lil Uzi. I'm listening to all that type of stuff. More recently, I'm listening to some dudes out in Flint, Michigan, Rio. A whole bunch of that hype stuff that just gets you in that mode where I mean everything is just locked in business and get it done.
Yeah.
If you could have one celebrity watch you play, anyone, any celebrity, who would it be?
A celebrity watch me play.
We get some good ones. We've gotten Margot Robbie, Livy Dunn, Antonio Brown, Steph Curry. It's such a wide range. Like literally anyone. They're always funny answers.
That's a great question. I never thought about it. Maybe to watch me play. I mean, I think it would be cool to like have one of my favorite like rappers or something like that come watch me play. Like Lil Uzi, he used to come to not my basketball games, but basketball games around the area. He's from Philly, not too far from Jersey, so it would be always awesome when he would pop out of games and stuff like that. So maybe one of them. You just mentioned Margot Robbie. That's not a bad decision right there.
Always a good one right there.
Yeah, I feel like you know what I'm gonna go with this. This might be a little different. I might go with Serena Williams just because
All right,
just dominant. You know what I mean? So just like
the female goat.
just being, just being in that type of presence, just probably will bring out the goat in me. You know what I mean?
Greatness.
Well, I mean, you
Greatness
said you're
makes
all about
greatness.
winning, right?
Exactly.
No better person than Serena Williams.
I mean, you just sit there looking out. You're like, I can't let her down. She's watching me right now. She be doing 100 other things, but yeah, I think I go with Serena Williams.
All right, so I had to add this one in. So for those who didn't know, you did play special teams at your time at Holy Cross. And I mean, we had Devin Haskins on the show not too long ago, and everyone knows him from special teams with his block punt record. But who would you say is more important to Holy Cross special teams, you or Devin?
Oh, easily Devin. Again,
We got a humble guy here. He needs to take some of this credit.
Yeah, I'm saying like I'm the team is everything. Obviously, you're only as strong as a team, and the team is only as strong as the individuals that make it up, right? And I think that was a huge part of our game this year, especially you look at games like Lafayette where offense, we weren't clicking that well. Defense, was not clicking as well as they usually do. And it came down to special teams, right? And I think that this team, we took a lot of pride in special teams. Shout out to Coach Kanan, wonderful coach, wonderful human being. He, kind of, I mean, just because of how good of a dude he was and good of a coach in his investment in special teams, he made you want to invest in special teams. And, he let us know that the way that you're good at special teams, you have your best players on the field. a lot of teams, I think they they kind of let the ones and two, like the two deep kind of just stay off the special teams, and they, all the rest of the guys, the young guys, get out there and play. But our team, we have, our punt rush team, I think we had out of 11 dudes on the field, I think 9 of them were offensive or defensive starters, right? So like that type of buy-in was just so crazy. And, we all understood, in camp that's what it was going to take, having senior fifth years, juniors, all that, those type of guys on the special teams to make plays and stuff like that. And, I think I do enough taking credit for, the stuff that I do. And, obviously, I'm the biggest believer and supporter of myself. I love myself and I love what I do. And I take a lot of pride in what I do, but I'll let, the reporters and stuff like that, and everyone else, talk about my game. That's kind of what they want to do. I don't really want to talk about myself. I want to give credit to where my guys, because I know that the type of work that they put in. Devin, he's been working so hard the last couple of years, and I don't think that he felt like he got the recognition that he deserved on defense, right? And he wanted to be that guy. So in the offseason, he put in a lot of work. He got a lot larger, you know what I mean? He was dealing with stuff, missed some time, came back, didn't really miss a beat. But this dude's out here blocking four games in a row. He's blocking a punt. Like, that's not normal, right? And to do all those plays on defense, like chasing after those receivers, jamming dudes, coming up and tackling, being a physical corner. Coach Barnes did a really great job with those guys, making sure that they're physical corners. Him, Terrence, Camo, and Devin. What's the name? I already said Devin. John Smith. Matt Dushman is going to be a huge name for Holy Cross next year. Those dudes. Dorian Rawls. They're just out there just trying to get after it. Definitely Devin. I did my part. That's how I feel. They ask you to do something and you do it well. I did my part. Devin went above and beyond with, when we called his number, he showed up. So yeah, definitely Devin. He should have been special teams player of the year in the Patriot League. He should be, all conference, all American, whatever, whatever accolade you give him, he deserved it this year.
So that just about wraps up our interview. Thank you, Ayir, for taking the time to do this interview with us. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate you guys having me. It was fun.
Yeah, best of luck in your journey out west to Wyoming next season. Yeah, good luck. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at @offbeat_sports and on TikTok at offbeat sports. And make sure on the lookout for the next installation in the Offbeat University series. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, sir.